Cheers.
Cheers. Another weekend of Six Nations.
Hello and welcome. Please subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for not subscribing after we said that Joe McCarthy was a wing.
It wasn't our best moment.
No.
We are here to rectify things.
We meant lock.
Yeah, you just heard us wrong.
You just heard us wrong.
We said wok. Said we made food in a wok.
Oh. So anyway, so big weekend.
Yeah.
It started off with a big game, Scotland against France.
Yeah.
And I had such high hopes, and it was very exciting.
Yeah.
Feel bad for the Scots. It seems like they're just going to carry on being just not being able to break through into the next
not there
level.
In Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So they had a chance.
They had a chance, and they started that try of theirs. The first try that the Scots scored was really, really good, and I thought it's on. And I actually felt bad for the French.
Yeah.
When they maybe we can discuss the rule. So
yeah.
The French make this break, and they're close to the Scottish line, and Duan van der Merwe makes the tackle, and he gets up and he intercepts the pass from that tackle.
Yes.
So was there a ruck for him to get behind the last feet?
Not be in front of the play, yeah.
So maybe someone can help us there why that wasn't called offsides. He makes, it's a crucial moment of the game. If the French had scored there, they would have been immediately back in. They end up winning anyway, but it definitely put Scotland into a strong position when they, how it goes when you have the momentum, you make a great break and whatever, and if it doesn't pull off, it breaks you.
Yeah, it makes you negative.
Yeah,
and it's hard to pick yourself up from that afterwards.
Yeah,
but we sort of mentioned that it wasn't great rugby by either team. It was sort of bit of a stop-start game.
Well, especially if you think about the whole kicking and then the kicker not chasing. I'm not sure what that rule is exactly, but it's something like if the guy who catches the ball doesn't move forward to kick the ball again, then
he's placed onside by guys that run past him, basically.
Yeah, but no one is allowed to move. So what Finn Russell kept doing is he catches the ball, then he doesn't move forward, and then no one on the field is allowed to move.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but they were in the lead up to France's winning try.
Yeah.
I felt like they were messing around with that sort of thing.
I just don't like it that he does that. It just seems like...
Well, World Rugby will probably have to look at it and decide, is this the game that we want?
It seems like his body language...
Found a loophole. Well, we mustn't hate people that find loopholes. That's what we expect Rassie to do.
Yes, exactly.
But I just thought that they were out of ideas.
Yeah.
And that's what led to that. So I feel like the French are the wrong team to get into a kicking competition with that. They want that.
Yes, definitely, with big wingers and Ramos and a lot of talent all around the park. Man for man, you just feel like Scotland's always 2 injuries away from not having enough depth to compete with the likes of France. If everyone's fit and they look like they can beat almost anyone in the Six Nations, but when the substitutes come on, they're just a little bit short. They just lack that little bit of depth.
But they were playing. I felt that they had all of the momentum and that they had a lot of the ball and a lot of the luck was going their way. But they still weren't pulling away from the French. The French stayed in there. Yeah. And maybe that shows a bit of France's class.
Yes. Yeah. The great teams manage to win when they have an off day. We saw that in the World Cup. The World Cup, which was won by South Africa, right? The Springboks.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of the game, there was a moment where the ball was briefly held up and then sort of...
Well, it was being held up by a foot.
Yeah,
and then
sort of rolled over the foot.
Went off the foot, and Nick Berry can definitely see that it's on the ground. He can't see a blade of grass touching the ball.
No.
But surely that isn't the requirement.
No, it's like the laws of physics. Like we've lost all common sense.
Yeah.
Where if the level of the ball was there, and then it becomes much lower.
Yes.
And it's like if there's a finger under the ball. Have you seen a rugby ball?
Yeah.
If I put my finger under the ball's touching grass.
Yeah.
So even if there was something under the ball, that ball was grounded, and that's what's so frustrating is that the rugby world knows that ball was grounded, but the try
everyone
wasn't
watching the game knows it's on the ground. But the main
there was
thing,
no clear evidence.
What happens to the rule then, in my mind, is it's not if they can see that it's held up. It's if I can't see it on the ground.
Yeah.
Which means that the defense must now hide the ball.
Yeah.
That's their job instead of holding it up.
Yeah, and it's like it depends on the question.
So
is
let's
there
say
any reason not to give the try? If the question is that, then the try is given.
Yeah. But I mean, as soon as Nick Berry asked that question when he said, "Is there any reason like why?"
But there was a moment
on the try. Is it on the ground?
Yeah. There was a moment where you could see the writing of the ball pop up, and I saw that little part of the ball on the ground.
It was on the ground.
Yeah.
It's impossible that it wasn't on the ground.
And then Scotland wins the game, and like everything we just said about them not being good enough and this and that, it becomes redundant.
Yes.
Then they won their
and they're writing books about Gregor Townsend. You know.
Like we've said it so many times, like in sport, in rugby, you're that one moment away from the entire conversation being about how amazing Scotland are, instead of being that France managed to win games even when they have an off day.
Yes.
So just very unlucky.
And saying how Scotland isn't quite good enough. So I mean, it was amazing for them to even be in that position to go for that winning try. You know.
So and it was like just like the 80s. I thought they kicked it away, and I thought, yes, what are you doing? And they just managed to make those meters to get into that position. So actually, a lot of the plaudits have to go to Scotland.
Yes. What I will say is, if you are 2 meters from the line, you don't want Duan van der Merwe doing a pick and go.
No.
That guy is so upright. It's like, what's wrong with him? He's definitely going to be held up. And he did it once or twice. He wanted to do a pick and go, and he's like upright. I mean, his posture is fantastic. But
he's built like a forward, but he doesn't have the body position to get over the line.
And even the guy who got held up, I can't even remember who it was now.
No. Well, no one could see him.
No one could see him. He was hidden from view. But he is also. You must fall in front of the guy's toes. You mustn't go into him and then try fall over with him. No. The defender.
You only need to go for the line.
You must go at his toes so that you can see if you can slide underneath him or something like that, and then at least you can place it again or whatever. But it's just technique. So I think what a lot of teams have learned. I mean, think about New Zealand against the Irish. Geordie Barrett.
Yes.
Holding up. Was it Conan or Kelleher?
I'm not sure.
Whoever for that crucial moment in the quarterfinal, and then against the Springboks as well. So Geordie Barrett has that technique down perfectly.
Yes.
Now people need to start coaching against that technique. Because the only way you can do that is if you run at him at waist height.
Yes.
Stop doing that.
That's where he sort of gets his ball, his legs.
He gets his ball.
He gets his legs under the ball and sort of. He's a big, strong guy, so it's good.
But everyone's doing it.
Yes.
And
everybody's doing it.
Everyone's doing it. And the French, they can do it. So you've got to fall sooner. You've got to go in low.
And you know what? Also, it's also a law change, because back in the day, you could just get over the line and you regain the ball. Now you sort of...
Well, not in that situation, it wouldn't have been.
No.
It would have been the end of the game.
Now you lose the ball. So you've got to make sure that you...
but even then, Hansi,
you can't just go for everything.
If, you have to get that technique right, because even under the old rule, it would have been the end of the game because it's a scrum.
That would have been the end of the game.
So it's just... it's frustrating watching it because you can see this is what's going to happen. I think we did it against Ireland as well in the quarters. We had 1 or 2 held up things.
We did. We had quite a few.
I think.
Where you've got to make sure that you finish correctly.
Those guys are strong. They'll hold you up there. No problem. Easy.
We saw it now. We saw a guy stop James Lowe now.
And a master of it is Richie Manga. He does it all the time as well. He did it against us at Twickenham twice, I think.
Okay, Wales.
Anyway, Wales,
England.
Sorry
for Wales. They got close twice.
They got close. Almost like the Scotland game where they, Wales they were leading for most of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't usually say anything in England's favour because I'm generally rooting for the other team. However, that thing with George Ford, like, he didn't start his run-up.
No.
He didn't start his run-up. He
can get into position and everything. It's got to be your run-up towards taking the actual kick.
Yeah.
So that's just bad officiating.
And the yellow card as well on, I forgotten his name, the red-headed guy.
Yeah.
He comes in low, he hits the ball, the guy's holding the ball obviously, he hits the ball and then his shoulder happens to touch the guy's face.
Yeah.
And it's a yellow card.
Yeah, no.
That was hard done by, I thought.
Yeah.
But Wales did well, I thought. I didn't expect them to do that well. I think
England
Gatlin's having
managed to score a try. Wales led for the most of the game until like 63 minutes. England scored a try on the wing, and then they just had to get the penalty. So it was 13-14 at that stage. They got a
Ford missed out on his conversion, but they did go for posts at least. That
so it was a deliberate knockdown. One of those where you're sort of, it was a deliberate knockdown, even though the guy, and that's also one of the things. Like the rules are, you can't even go for an intercept. You hardly ever see intercept tries anymore because you can't really go for it.
Yeah.
The guy obviously tried to catch the ball, but he didn't. Sort of knocked it down. It was yellow card, penalty, bang, game over. 16-14.
But if he hadn't done that, they would have scored anyway. At least they had a chance.
Look, it looked difficult for Wales to get through the England defence.
I will say, their defence, I don't know if it's Felix Jones or whatever that's there, but they do look hard on defence. They rush up.
Attack coach.
They rush up in your face all the time.
Yeah.
Felix Jones, is he the attack coach?
Yeah, he was our attack coach.
Yeah, but I think he's the defence coach at England now.
Really? We don't know.
I don't know.
I have to make sure about that.
I know.
Sorry if we're wrong.
Sorry to Pooh 356. Who we'll check our facts.
Yeah, but the Six Nations, it's nice, the close games and stuff, but a lot of the, except for France and Ireland, I suppose, but Wales and England are sort of rebuilding towards something.
It was entertaining, I will give them that. It was entertaining in the sense that it was tight.
Yeah, it's good. Close games are good for a competition. It's always good. Yeah,
this has actually, apart from the game we just watched.
2 weeks of really intense,
enthralling rugby. Think about Scotland winning by 1 point against Wales. Okay,
just
obviously
being so far ahead.
The Irish smashed the French. But Italy was close against England last week. Then speaking of Italy, obviously.
Industrious start and trying hard, and they look well coached by Gonzalo Quesada.
Who is that guy?
Is he Italian? That's that kicking machine, Argentine fly-off.
Oh, okay.
He was in 2007. He was around kicking everything. Seems like a good coach. Seems like a good addition to their coaching staff, but just. They really struggle to get over the advantage line, and they run out of patience, and then they try a Hail Mary pass or something because they just can't get through, and it showed in the scoreline because they didn't score any points. They tried a penalty early on, and then the scoreline just got away from them, and they had to go for the line. The lineouts they took most of their lineouts, but they weren't great. It wasn't great clean ball. And right in the beginning of the game, I thought Ireland looked like a team who put in a few of their second choice players.
McCloskey playing centre.
McCloskey and Henshaw instead of Ringrose and Aki, moving Doris to 7, who's captain of the game. Bringing
Who's
in
that guy with the mullet who was playing lock?
McCarthy.
Is that McCarthy?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. McCarthy. I thought he was the wing.
Lock/wing, right? McCarthy, 22-year-old, very good. Yes, to tackle the Italians behind the advantage line.
Who does he play for? Did I put you on the spot now?
These kind of questions.
We've learnt his name this week.
I don't know the answer.
We've learnt his name. Okay.
And I thought Jack Crowley really. It's a seamless slot in from Sexton.
I think he's better than Sexton.
Yes, I didn't want to say that, but yes.
Like for instance, he gets the ball. There was one moment he got the ball like on like the 10-meter line, on the Irish 10-meter line, and he like has a go at the Italian defenders. 3 oaks on him.
Yeah. No, really good.
Sexton started getting a little bit weak for me.
Yeah. So it looked like it took a little while for the game plan to start going, but then...
You know who's outrageous is Sheehan.
Yeah.
That guy is crazy. Well, speaking of Sheehan, there was an amazing moment from that Italian scrummy, the Welsh guy, who managed to stop Sheehan.
Yes.
I mean, Sheehan was like a bull the entire game.
Yeah.
He did well there, but apart from that, Sheehan smashing guys.
Yeah. You've got to ask the question. We spoke about it now. Like I think they said, well, obviously Ireland's won I don't know how many games in a row against the Italians, but it's difficult for them. They try so hard and they look good, and you can see they're well coached. And I thought Gabrisi was very good, the fly off. Talented players, but they're just short. They're just short of being at that level.
Yeah.
Maybe they can give Wales a run in this Six Nations if they ran England close.
Yeah.
But if you've been in this competition for so long.
Yeah. What is it? The stat is something like 43 games and 1 win.
Yeah. I think it was. I think out of 32, Ireland won 31. If I remember correctly now.
I'm talking about just in Six Nations.
In Six Nations.
Since the Italians have joined Six Nations, they've only won like 1 game. Can it be?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
I know they beat Scotland at some stage.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That was the stat. Sorry, you're right. But, I mean, if you think about Argentina when they joined our competition, the Rugby Championship.
So they've since beaten
the All Blacks. They beat the All Blacks, they beat the Aussies.
Aussies a couple of times, I think. Yeah, so
maybe it's just a bad fit. Maybe the Italians must go play a different league or something. Championship.
Yeah, but I suppose it's grown their rugby, but it's also like you get to know a few players' names and then they disappear. And then when you don't have that continuity, it also shows. If you look at Ireland, I mean, everyone in that team has become a household name.
Yeah.
A household name.
Yeah, before, I mean, if you think about it before, we didn't really know the Irish that much. We knew O'Driscoll, obviously, and we knew O'Gara because he played for like 2 decades or something crazy. And so we knew some of those guys, but I mean, these days we know a lot.
And then you still have the McCarthys.
We even know McCarthy.
You've got the McCarthys coming through. You've got Nash coming through. You've got this Ryan Baird coming through. Josh van der Fleer coming off the bench. I mean, it's an amazing squad of players. Harry Byrne came on, which we now wonder is he number 2, not Ross Byrne, not Carberry. I don't know where Carberry. I think left Irish rugby.
I will say one thing, just coming back to the Italians, is the under-20s. I think last year the under-20 team they lost to the French by 1 point, and then the under-20s played. Now I've forgotten who they played, but it was also it's under-20 Six Nations.
Yes,
and they also won by it was the Irish. They played the Irish.
Yeah.
And they lost by 1 point against Ireland.
Sure. So there's talent coming through.
So maybe there's something for them in the future. But
I mean, there were 26 Nations is a good idea because it also gets TV time and everything.
There's a de Klerk in the under 20 Irish team, and there's a de Villiers in the Italian team. So
some South African.
They're busy poaching our guys there. Bring back our boys.
But exciting weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's it.
That's it.
Cheers.
Cheers.